Good. Good job. Good. Everybody have to learn the, what call it, chanting master. Very good, yeah. So you are very good voice. Anyway, welcome back. You didn't see some people months.
3 weeks.
Anyway, good to study about Buddhism. Usually, how many people have daily practice? You guys, you guys have some small daily practice? Good, good. You don't have? Really? Anyway, when you do daily practice, usually you have so any time or you have some special time. Or you can, when you have time, you can do it. And how many people have altar? Anybody have your altars? Oh, good, good. It's good, usually when you get up in the morning, first you go to bathroom, wash your teeth and everything, brush, then come back. Also, do a little bit clean your shrine room. If usually we don't see the dada, you have some blood with dada, you can clean a little bit. Also, you think about clean all the dust, negative karmas. After, how many people have water balls? Good. Hey, you both same, right? Good. And then you can do water balls. Water balls also, you start to, how do you say, this left side, right? Start to here anyway. Left side.
Left to right.
Left to right. When you start left to right, when you
Take off.
turn off,
Take down.
take down, right to left. Okay? I think maybe you guys already know that, just then when you put things also put together, then put first in your water, then don't put the empty things, and put also between, if you read a lot here, then sometimes you just do it very fast, you don't see much there. It's good to you just only 7, then between the two wall balls, put the same
rice.
Yeah, good. The rice. And also don't hit each other. If you say you very far, then they say,
Inauspicious.
inauspicious, too far. Then you put water also. Also when you put water, you start to hear. First you put tiny, then a little bit big, the last was a little bit power, tiny. Same thing on rice. Rice, two, how you say, two ends, little thin, small, the bigger little wet, same as that, you put water. Also water not too complete outside. Also same as to put rice sides, put above the rice, then not come out. If you put out, also it's not good. If you empty, not too sand, it's also not good. Put that. Then you have some candle, you can put some candles. Then you have incense. Incense make to clean. So omao. Omao means usually you can offer the omao, you can clean the omao, body, speech. Omao means that goes on to some
Body, speech, and mind.
Body, speech, mind to represent the or something. You can bless in body, speech, mind, clean body, speech, mind. This basically. Then you done that. Then you, if you have time in the morning to do, I don't know. Then you stay there. You can check your motivation. First you come to a little bit mind. Or then you do 3 prostrations. Then you sit down, 3 prostrations. Om Namo Mansa Shri, Namo Sushri, Namo Uddama Shri. So this is a special true mantra to the prostration, also multiply mantra. Then you sit, then you set up the merit field, whatever your Buddha, Bodhisattvas, your Guru, all of your here. Not just look at draw the pictures, not look at just the statues, you look at exactly real person in front of you, then you can for visualization, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, your teachers, all the sentient beings around for you, then you can set up motivation to, I want to achieve enlightenment benefit all the sentient beings, therefore force up to refuge for Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, you recite. Then you don't need to wait too long, Then also, therefore, achieve enlightenment benefit all the sentient beings, therefore, whatever I do, virtuous things. Through that, whatever I create the virtuous things, through that, may I achieve enlightenment. For the benefit of the sentient beings. Okay? This is the first refuge, the second is bodhicitta. You can build practice, you can do that in non-necessary, whatever we have this book. Then the four measurables. This is also for mix both your compassion, bodhicitta, more develop. And after that, I pray for Buddha Shakyamuni. Then after that, Guru Yuko Sungapa. Then, if you have time, you can do a little bit of visualization and then go to the seven limbs, go through that. Then, after that, you say, the glorious, First he said, please sit here. The secondly, the heart. Last he will please long life. Live for a long time. Then after that done, then if you have time, you can do a little bit of Zimba. Maybe 7 times or 21 times. Then you don't have to Heart Sutra, you can say just Teatam Gate Gate Parangate Parasungani Bodhi so. Teatam Gate Gate means Tomba Teatam Gate Gate Sonum Shonum so. I think I can switch now.
No.
Teata Gate Gate that Sonum Ne Jonum Sero. First you say, Sonum Shonum.
Part of accumulation?
Versus Teata Gate Gate, part of accumulation.
Part of
and
preparation.
part of preparation. Say, go, look at that. Then Parangati means
Gone beyond.
Gone beyond. Then Parasangati means
Perfectly gone.
Perfect. Okay, that's the last. And then that gone Parasangati body that Sanji Komoto shows it. And it's 10 or 60 days.
So, Gade, right? Gade means like gone beyond, and perfectly gone beyond. And then bodhi means like enlightenment. Soha means like to sow the seed, for enlightenment. And so first, when you apply these to the 5 parts, first Gade refers to the path of accumulation, path of preparation, and a Paragate, which is means gone beyond the ordinary path, and that is path of seeing, where you achieve the spiritual path, Arya path. And then Parasamgate, is the the path of meditation, and then bodhi is enlightenment, soha is sowing the seed.
Okay? 그래서 셔럼님은 대배기다 된다미 조대 이 사지 거부터 말쳐드렸을 텐데다 내가 주변에 급쪽에서 그래서
so that the mantra actually combines all the whole teachings on the Profession of Wisdom Sutra. So anyway, so the whole purpose of reciting Heart Sutra or meditating on emptiness is to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, and just reciting the mantra will be sufficient to like having recited the whole Heart Sutra.
Okay?
So after that, if you have time, then you can recite Tara prayer, praises to 21 Taras, a couple of times.
If you have time, 3, 1, 3, 7, 21, 4. Okay? What? Then that's an and Lamram the Namazo Lamram the Lamram precious. And the Tiolani, that Lam, Yarmasulama's shafted in there, and it's not much.
And after that, if you still have time, then you do the the final loving dedication prayer. That's in the prayer book. And then if you still have time, then do the long life prayers of His Holiness and Lama Sopa Rinpoche, and then you do the dedication.
어떻게 다 남진 가디나 냠지 남아서 냠내지나 다 딘데지가 님아치 소속하는 없이는 여기 그랬어.
And so if you don't have any particular practices to do, then if you can do just that much on a daily basis, then that will be very good.
And this was what I said, but we think that
and so if you have have other commitments to do, then you can insert them into those practices also.
And the Gondaya, the my money when and the Shasumza, and the Madene, that's what you choke on the Madene. And that didn't carry Chenduk. She have one of Chena and tell Gawa comes. You have to shut the Chena and that and Jopa the Cheve Gone. And the Shona and Donshante, Temena, and the Tam Ija. Then that Doption to be Shabachi.
So then in the evening, towards the end of the day, you can go into your shrine room if you have one, and then sit there for a little while, and then contemplate on what you have done throughout the day. So if you have done good things, rejoice, and then that will help to increase your merit, of having done goods. And if you have done bad things, then generate strong sense of regret towards that, and then confess those negative karmas that you have created throughout the day by reciting the 35 Buddha prayers, if you know them, or if you have the prayers at a time. If not, then at least recite the 100 syllable and a mantra of Vajrasattva at least like 21 times. That will at least stop from increasing the negative karmas.
Okay. And that any time more chiro, can't tell to what the Sanjo, essentially Sanjo come to show, to be general shows that in the jar which is Raman Samita, to do which more country or launching around the chair years and become a coin.
And then after that, you do the dedications of any merits that you have created throughout the day, and also the merit that you have created by performing the practice of purification, whatever merit that you have created, dedicate that for the enlightenment of oneself and all sentient beings, and and for the long life of His Holiness the Lama Sopa Rinpoche or any other holy gurus and so forth. So if you don't know how to pray or dedicate in a proper way, then you can just think like, I will dedicate my merits just like Lama Sopa Rinpoche or His Holiness will dedicate their merits. So if you think like that, then whatever way they may dedicate, your dedication will become like that also.
The one time the Lhasa Ama, Lhasa Ama with the Lhasa old ladies. Old ladies with a lot of dedications, they have a lot of recites. The one come by, one monk come in. They go to the Cho temple. Then the front of the monk, the one Ama, she has a lot of dedications. She recites things and she loved it. The monk doesn't have much dedication, he doesn't know why you do it, then he just said, whatever Amalas say, I also said that, Same thing, we say Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Buddhists, whatever deity we all do this is good for. And also, when you go sleep, also, it's possible maybe you can recite, or you think about a little bit, bodhicitta, compassion. If not, just recite some Om Tenley. Then wherever you sleep that, then all the you sleep also become virtuous. Then you sleep, oh, today someone told me very bad things. How can I get back tomorrow for them? Your dedication more angry or jealous. Then you all sleep also become negatives. Therefore, if you know how you do practice this, you can do everything but the practice. If it doesn't know, then everything go to the negative thing, yes. This is the way, then, that's the little Nimachila change of that, Namju, Yamnika, Kandi, Mambosha Chia, Mengi, Karichego, touch, Suzuchi, touch Mato,
so if you don't have any particular practices to do and you don't know what practice you should do, then you can do something like this, just as I said right now.
Okay? What is it? I don't number Sanjevi. And Lojola, and you then some say long shares, then it's on.
So in Buddhism, there are three major subjects that you can study. Those are known as the three baskets of teachings.
And they tell you children that carry Yame Kachana and the Lamla was some say.
So by studying those three baskets of teachings, what practice you do, you practice the three trainings.
And the Lamla was there and the Trumji Lava is.
And so the three trainings are training of morality.
And Trumji Lava Nala, Madu Tawa the anime, Madu Trum Sango Mare. Trumada, Makichabo, Kamusha.
And so the morality, is the vows, the commitments, the vows, right? So even if you are not monk or nun, you can still have other vows, right? The individual liberation vows, Bodhisattva vows, and so forth. So, and then also you can have the vow of abandoning the 10 virtuous actions. And so, those can be also the morality.
Sometimes the Tibetan lay people say, I don't have any vows. I'm not monk. I'm not nun. But that is not. And Magichabo, some laws, I'm not to Yamage. And it's some Yumo want to pass over some, that two not the Kuba, Yamega Kuba, thing in the Yamage was.
So you can engage in the practice of abandoning the 10 virtuous actions. Those are the morality. And then controlling your mind, not letting it astray, go astray, and just not letting it do whatever it wants to do, but instead controlling it and making sure that it does only the right things or the things that it's supposed to do. And so that is the training of concentration. And then the mind that understands what is right, what is wrong, what is virtuous, what is non-virtuous, the differences between those things, and then making sure to do the right things and so forth, by understanding the difference between right and wrong and so forth. So that is the practice of wisdom.
Okay. What is that? Not cutting and Yamacha do what you Lava Sense, then listen to the channel, then look into it, Yamacha was.
So these practices, the three trainings, we can do all the time, right? Even while we're sitting or standing or walking or eating and so forth, right?
What is in the and Tomo Lamjo net Lamjo net so Meva Yena. So
these are the common practices that we have to do before we can do any advanced practices, such as the tantric practice and so forth. So without these common practices, even if we attempt to do tantric high practice like Tantra practices, and that will not bear any fruits and any results.
Someone called me, and they say, he said, I want to study Tantra. Then who can teach me Tantra? Then look like he's not very perfect, but stable. Doesn't mean
Stable.
Stable. Then he said, I said, why? Why you don't want to? And then I said, ask her then, how long you study the Tantra? He said, well, just I read the books. Now I want to study more serious. They said, then do you study the sutra? I said, no, I don't want to study sutra. Why? It's too bored. It's too long. They said Tantra is more quick, more fast. More quick, more fast, more power. The sutra they don't have. They said they don't have that. Sutra is too bored. I don't want to do that. Then I say, if you don't have the basic, understanding, knowledge for sutra, then you cannot do Tantra. No, it doesn't matter. I don't want to do sutra. I want to go Tantra. I read some books. They say Tantra is very strong. Then I say, oh, then who teach me? I just want to teach. Who's teaching? Then you guys doesn't teach. You guys, what are you teaching? You guys doesn't say, I teach for Sutra and Tantra. They don't say what you guys teach. So we just explained about Buddhism. And he said, I want to just study only Sutra. I don't want to Tantra. And I said, if you want to build very high building, do you need to basic foundation? I said, yes. I said, Sutra, Tantra is Sutra is the basic foundation of the Sutra, was the Tantra. They said, no, they don't say that. They don't mention this book. then I said, okay, sorry, I don't know. Then whatever. Usually we don't have this, we call specific Tantra, we call crosses. Then maybe you can do some other places. Look like the people just want to jump there. They doesn't know basic things. But anyway, lawas mi nyamne sa ta shi chani simbi la tingin de la ba chari la na ani ta tingin do shira ton to bi shira so la ga na ta nga so tan de mi chi bong tsam da ani ji sem yu mo wo yo ma ro chi ko ya da ani ge de na do shi ma lo shi de ta ja wa na no de nyamne chen de was.
So usually when we talk about the three trainings, the morality, concentration, and wisdom, the wisdom referring to the wisdom understanding emptiness, knowing the reality of what things are in actuality, and so forth. So in this case, in the simpler or more basic case, we can just think about understanding the difference between the virtuous and non-virtuous actions. What is virtuous action? What is not? So that and understanding is also wisdom.
다 되는 것도 다 녀모. 다 non-virtuous 의 관계에서 다 뭔가 되는 거. 다 자외 녀모 조세요. 그래서
And so talking about the non-virtuous or the delusions, there are three. There are 6 root delusions.
아니 녀모세의 시바래 시바. 근데 시바의 나서잖아요. 여기서 시바.
So as you know, there's delusions in our consciousness, right? They are consciousness, and they reside in our minds, in our consciousness.
어디 다 자외 녀모는 다 자외 녀모는 다 조어들이 해서
And so the 6 root delusions or afflictions, so this main, the root means like the main ones, right? The main thing.
아니 다 내차. 아니 공조 가자 말이봐. 대충 따오니 뭐 지내서 가는 거죠. 나도 봤어.
So those are attachment, anger, pride, ignorance, doubt, and afflicted view.
아니 단 가는 내차서 가려서 나 가서 제가 간지 사진지 이보라 메네. 아니면 뭐고는 얘도 봐. 자, 돈이 이걸로 지나서 내차서 들어왔어. 사진지 이보.
So what is attachment? So regarding the attachment. Attachment is a mind, that clings, to a contaminated object, contaminated phenomena, and wishes, to possess it, to oneself.
근데 공로사 가져서 나를 봐. 아니 가지. 다 랑미에 지라 미니 다다 무즈벨로이라 됐어. 무즈벨로지.
And then what is anger? So anger is a mind, that is not able to bear the difficulties, right? By aiming at somebody or something.
어디다 가지 공로사 내차 강다지란 대상금 제어도 담아라야 아니 대라 때문에 아니 강다 됐습니다. 다 말로 하시기 그래서 와. 딱 강다 때까지 딱 못해봐. 가지 담으로 하시기 그래서 내차는 경험하면.
And so when the attachment manifests, when it manifests, when it comes forward, then that disturbs the mind of the person.
아니 고로 이제 다 관계를 내려고 하고 왔어.
And that is pretty difficult to understand, but when the anger arises, it disturbs the mind as well, right? And that is pretty easily understood.
Right? 고로 사천은 너도 니코면도.
So we can't fall asleep if we get angry, right?
When we get angry, if you have very delicious food, that does not have much taste. If you are very good friend, but they are not very nice for us.
So it's not from their side that they become like that, but it's from one side. When one is angry, that's how one feels.
What? And
so we should not fall under the control of these delusions like attachment, anger. So if we fall under their control or under their influences, then they will bring all the sufferings and all the unwanted sufferings for us.
Do you guys accept? Maybe not.
So we have gone through those two last time, right? That was just a small, simple, a short review. And now we're going to start from the third one, which is pride, right? So if you have the text, right? So it's in page 56 at the bottom, no, page 56, where it says pride. Regarding pride, the compendium of knowledge says, question, what is pride? It is puffing up of the mind, independent on the view of the transitory collections. It has the function of acting as support for disrespect and suffering. So this is the root text, right? The compendium of knowledge is the root text, and then this is the commentary by this author of this text. It says, just as it has been said above, it is a mental factor that has the aspects of popping up of the mind upon observing the basis for puffing up one's own wealth, qualities, and so forth. So what makes one to be proud of, right? One will become arrogant if one has plenty of wealth, or one feels like one have a very high knowledge, high level of knowledge or qualities.
Right? Usually, who has most, not all of them, maybe the charge of Chawi, and the Jichambo in by not telling the.
So it is not necessary, but in many cases, people who are rich are more proud, right? Yeah. More arrogant. Is that true?
Not all the time, usually. And then you teach you and tell
and then also people with a high level of knowledge, like professors. right? PhD, will have more pride, right?
Any PhD here?
They're in front as well.
Yeah, usually, this country is, usually culture. When people say, I'm the PhD from that, they introduce, usually we do that. This is,
Call me doctor.
we don't say, oh, this is good, thank you.
No, we don't say that.
Usually, then we can see people say, oh, I'm from there, I'm the professional of some schools, I'm not urgent usually. Then also in the church, and then
And then also good figure, right? If you have good looks and good figures, and then also that will cause to have pride.
I'm the most beautiful, this guy. I'm the most educated, this guy's nothing. You can see, yeah. Then we are more handsome than I'm the most handsome, this guy.
So that brings arrogance in our mind, right? So sometimes I mean like confidence, the confidence, that is not again same as the pride.
And 뽑았어야 되면 내가 가리는 게 제 토고요, 제 토고래. 딱 뭐가게 지금 제 토고나 딱 소소 그 레르고 님으로 그러서 제 토고를 제기서 말고.
So if you have the confidence, then that might actually, make you to do things, right? I can do it. Others can do so can I, and I will do it, and that kind of thing, make you become stronger in doing what you need to do, and that also kind of becomes the antidote to the laziness, thinking that, oh, I don't want to do it, I can't do it.
어떤데 that the north dance, and the end so can be just done. can be just ngaja jeda 될 때 얘기를 해서 and that don't you see but ngaja 치보다 ngaja 치치 나봐야고는 nga치 얘기를 왔어. 빵고들랑 빵고 연습 미친 거 맞아 제일 말어 왔어.
So like it says here, observing the basis for puffing up is one's own wealth, qualities and so forth. So yes, it's true, right? So if you are rich, then it's I'm rich, thinking that I'm rich, you have that pride, thinking that I'm rich. If you're poor, you will not have that pride. Oh, I'm poor. You don't have that pride, right? If you're poor. When you are rich, then you have that pride.
And that's some shumbara. Yes.
Sorry, Geshe. You're not saying that. Pride is confident is arrogance. You're saying it's the you can be confident and it's not arrogance.
That's right.
That's what you said. Okay, I just want to make sure I understood it correctly.
Poor.
Because even when you're poor, you can still have the confidence.
Yes.
And it's not arrogance. It's just like have the confidence to do something.
You need to 뽑아가 그래서 뽑아야 돼.
빵고 있으면 뽑아는 뭐라야? 나 빵고 있으면 뽑아는 뭐라?
뽑아만 돼 뽑아가. 쌤 전화로. 나 빵고는
No, but yeah, that's true. You can have a confidence for other things, but you will not have, you will not feel confidence about being poor. You will have to feel confidence.
I'm poor person.
But pride, the arrogance is like when you have rich, when you are rich, then you can have arrogance, thinking that you are rich. But when you are poor, you will not have arrogance, thinking you are poor.
In the country, today, but I can't do what the today you want to
And so usually what happens, the downside or the bad side about that, is that then you start to look down on others. So when you have that pride, thinking that I'm rich, I'm knowledgeable, and so forth, then you start to look down on others, thinking that they are not rich, and they are not knowledgeable, and so forth. And so if you don't do that, if you don't look down on others, then even if you have pride, it's not harmful. And so if you are able to see everybody as equal or same as oneself, and then that pride, even if you have that pride, will not cause harm to you, right?
Okay. 같이 다 공적 예명사들 공적으로 맞아 예명사들 수수지에 다 수수지 맞아들 때문에 뭐다 선전 봐줘 통수지로 돼. 다 맞게는 그 공로야. 다 공적 맞아 되게 내가 기도매래서.
So so that's the thing, the looking down on others, the effect of the pride, right? So, but if you don't do that, then the pride will not be of any harm to you.
Okay. What's that? Yeah, you have some.
I just want this reminded me of the saying from the Bible. It says that it's easier for
I turned it up, sorry.
it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven.
What is that?
Yes, good translation.
넘어기 컵기 뛰어라 컵기 가서 이거여라 이거는 넣어야 다 되그랬어 내가 그랬어 이나다 미친 규초보드 되는 하유를 넣어야 돼 가르쳐 시작했어 그 컨트 바이블을 열었어 이슈 바이블을 열었어.
Yeah, this is maybe true. When this is also practice we say. And they should, mother should it Samalaya. Alarm here, what? Look, chillet, chubu, trouble come out. Because you should it Samalaya, Shilla Mungi Mingi, Tangi Mingi goes, Salah Hayamini, Mungi Mingi goes, the little goes. The teacher went up and Mara, that is really not what was.
And also in the Dharma, when we talk about like the disadvantage of being rich, is that when you're at the time of death, especially at the time of death, you will die with much more difficulties than a person without anything. And so if you don't have anything, you don't have much suffering of being separate from it, or worrying about it, thinking who's going to take it, what's going to happen to it, and so forth. But if you're rich and you have all those things, then you die with so much difficulty, so much suffering. And so the Kadamba masters is to say that. What's that? So the ultimate of the Dharma, the ultimate of the mind, should be the Dharma, and then the ultimate of the Dharma, should be poor or beggar, and then Dhambuddhi.
And then Dhambukamarates.
And then
And then Lobu Chulate, Chubu Tramet, Dhambukamarates. Lobu the Chulate, Chubu de Tramet, Dhambu de Shilate, Shibu, Dhambu de Lobu the Chulates, Chubu de Tramet, Dhambu de Shilate, Shibu de Dhambukamarates. Not Dhambukamarates.
So when as a Dharma practitioner, you want your mind to be the ultimate of the mind. Is to at the end, the mind should be thinking about the Dharma, and then as the ultimate result of the practice Dharma, it should be become like a beggar, where you are able to give up everything. You don't want to be attached to anything, so you are able to give up everything and become like a beggar with nothing, and then the ultimate of the beggar, is the like the death, where you can die without anything, and then death, happen in a remote place, like in a ravine or in a remote place, in the mountain and so forth. So where there's nobody, to cry for you and so forth. So to be able to die peacefully like that.
It's very similar. More practitioners, they're easy to die. They don't have left of anything. Same as more rich and more difficult. There are a lot of things. If they are the work can do, a lot of science there. Anyway, it's good. Okay. Then the time I just said is she is about giving the budget. She is the long list. Najanas, Jitala Tende, Shum Nangum, Tomenda, Zangala, Mine, same keeping number than two number channels. That's the long list.
And also in the great exposition of the States of the Path, the Lamrim by Lama Tsongkhapa, it says pride is based on the view of the transitory correction, and is a puffing up of the mind upon observing an external or internal phenomenon that is high or low, good or bad, it involves an aspect of loftiness.
Do you guys have maja jigdoes?
Pride.
Do you guys have pride? Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We are always.
Yeah.
I think I'm Geshe.
That's something you can call it.
I'm Geshe, yeah. If someone says something, something. What are you talking about? I'm Geshe, yeah. What are you talking about? No, usually we have all the time pride, right? 일단 나절 때는 가지고 나서 파주는 통주셔요. 대만은 다 늘려로 왔어. 아니 파주는 통주 마베지 오면 어찌 그랬어.
So the most important thing is to not look down on others. Right?
다 시에서마다 이제 따라 때는 봐도 아니 나절어스 강아지와 삼촌 나고 오면 나들 현재라 때네 집에 됐다서 말다 맞아 제와디 다른 나들 현재 때라 때는 제가 왔어. 나들 남자 때라 때는 나게 제가 왔어.
And so, what does it mean by it depends on the view of the transitory relation? And it says it is specified because all pride is generated in dependence on the innate conception which thinks I. So what is the view of transitory recollection? It is grasping at the I by focusing on either me or mine.
Okay? Me nata mazor was my balanata, my cup, my book, my glass. That is what my was. What tell him in the Rajawa, around 2 minutes,
and so by focusing on those things, either to me or to mine. So me is the I, the self, right? And mine is like the things I think of as others, like my cup, my book, and so forth. And by thinking of those, by looking at those or observing those things, and thinking of them as existing from their own side.
Okay.
And then here it talks about the pride. That is 7 different types.
Okay, ngajaj, lopping ngajaj, 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 ngawani ngajaj, ngajaj, choosing ngajaj, lopping ngajaj, ngas.
So the pride, there's a pride, exceeding pride, pride beyond pride, pride of thinking I, pride of vanity, pride of slight inferiority, wrongful pride.
다 ngajaj wate, member that tawale da la da chaban pass on the sambas. Cause it not asa below that.
So the first one is the pride. The pride is a popping of the mind, thinking that one is superior to a lower person. So somebody who is lower than oneself, and thinking that, oh, I'm better than this person.
I'm better than, more than beautiful them, more than knowledge them.
More knowledgeable.
More knowledge them. More knowledge. Knowledgeable. Them.
Than
them. Okay? Depending on the young door, you got that? You say, I'm better than them. You know, what's in my chest? Margel, shopping, I just said, shopping, I just round and yamba. Namely, Chepperton Paso Yamba, Kemata was touching Namji Soso Chinyamba in by the consulate and that, Lana Chasa.
And the exceeding pride is a puffing of the mind, thinking that one is superior to the peers. So people who are equal to oneself, even though they are same, but they think that, oh, I'm better than them.
Usually we think whatever we do, I'm better than them. Most of it is because someone say you're doing wrong, then automatically we're not happy, right? If you do wrong or right, it doesn't matter. If someone says, oh, you do wrong way, then automatically say, why you told me this? He doesn't know exactly what to do. Usually we have. That's someone's younger boss. Kanji. Koreton garangi, ku hako munde kaji suru noida, suru norvati muna check in was.
So if somebody says you are wrong, that you immediately, you feel the pain, and then you respond, with the anger, or saying, what do you know? I know more than you. I've been doing this, I've been doing that, and so forth. So you always kind of try to defend yourself. And so that's because of the pride.
What's done? Majala janga jase jen chebadan papa namle jang da chebadan paso nyamde dabe ta ngone chi yenten do kari gone ta ba trawena tenzole cha ta sho ni chene da ngara ya ye sa ma do ngi sho samdo ye was.
So the pride beyond pride is popping up of the mind, thinking that one is greatly superior even to other superior persons. Even though that person is great, but in some way I'm better than this person. Thinking like that.
Example, usually, I can say, you guys very good education that if Tibetan language, I'm the better than them. For me, that means me to the jigger was. They're
thinking that the person of the control should do it as church.
What happened? The truth, children, Chichinabani children, and children wanted to Yamlet the Gaji Yaris, Nangara Sambala, Kodrutanga, some good restaurant.
So thinking like, even though you have studied Dharma, you know quite well about Dharma, and maybe you do better practice than me. But then I might have thinking, even though they do this practice and all these things, but I have studied more than them, so maybe I know more than them. So thinking like that. So even if you think the others are good, but you think still better than others who are good.
Then I have also imagined after many years, this guy is just 2 hours every day. This can make big mistakes. Robert and Toto. Robert and the rabbit.
Hare and the turtle.
Toto. They make two. The Jemas and the Rikana soon
Racing.
Then Robert thinks, I'm very fast and just jump there, The turtle thinks, I'm too slow, I have to go, very effort. The Robert just stay there, he do some other things. Then finally, the Gaji, Toto, Topson,
Find a turtle win.
And the turtle win. Turtle thinks, I have to do. I'm the very slowly, this guy, the Robert thinks, I'm the very, just jump too. Very easy. Therefore, I think maybe I'm the better than you guys think, I'm too the girl. So, the Lorig have che, the Yomar is someday, it took Jam another Chozo, just say your
So you might think that, I haven't studied, so I have to study. I have to keep on studying, and then you keep on studying. And I might think that, I have studied, so I don't have to study anymore. And sit there and not studying and forget. And then you keep on studying, and then you become better than me.
Okay? Usually that, but usually think about differently. I'm not doing teach. I'm not going to be in Yelenji Pumbola meaning. I'm Yelenji Pumbo, Pumbo, Ngans, and Logi house. What the name of race or
So prior to thinking I, is the popping up of the mind, thinking I, within observing the appropriate aggregates.
I am on a Yelenji Pumbola, the Sudu Pumbola meaning, near Pumbo that Madavashi, you Shimbal and get in there, you some telling to come out of Venus. Now you better. Then Yeni Pumbola, now in the same camp.
You don't know that,
None the Nancho.
Yelling Pumbo, about the answer.
Yeni Pum mustn't call the Danjo channel. Yeni Sudu Pumbola mean the tongue here Pumbo the chicken says here or Yapuji here or tell the Suzu came out. I joined Logina. Suzu Pumbola and Suzu Maja Jero. I'm the beautiful. Tendrovina.
So I think if you just grasp at the I, grasp at the appropriate aggregate as I, and that will become grasping at the self, right? So I don't know how that can become pride. So for it to become pride, I think on top of that, and then you also think that I as being more beautiful or more handsome and so forth than others and so forth. So maybe that can be pride of thinking I.
Do you guys watch the big mirror and say, I'm the very beautiful, handsome? You guys watch it? Now you can wear some different clothes, like this. Yeah. Okay, this.
We know what Geshe is doing in the morning.
I talk all the my secrets. We can see that they watch TV, they show, sometimes they show them many different clothes, right? Many clothes.
Yeah, the models.
I think gaming ajandas, gaming ajasavati, and then Matoba, Matoba Tubnum the same Kembago, choosing touch Sodra Yutation, Top Meva, Toby Yamichi, that semi majesty of the was.
So then the fifth one is the pride of vanity. Is a profiting of the mind, thinking that one has attained what has not been attained. So maybe even one doesn't have it, but one pretends as one has it. Maybe that kind of pride.
Is Western have this country? It's better than a lot. I don't know in here.
So even if you are not rich, you pretend as you're rich. Or even if you are not a knowledgeable person, you pretend as you're a knowledgeable person, and so forth. So that kind of thing. There are a lot in Tibetan people, but I don't know in Western people. Do they have that?
20.
One time there was all this, usually the monks, Geshes, looks very scholar. Then he said, if this is scholar or not, you ask a question, then you know. Right? Even some people don't like to their questions. If there's some question, then they have to give answer. And he doesn't know answer, then he shows his, that's what that one was.
Shows he's not a scholar.
Scholar. Then Kajichi, that dinner is what they cheat. That Judy Bengan, Randy, Shepherd Papa. Namely, that choose it, men or onion the same canvas. And they carry that, and they just don't know.
So pride of slight inferiority is the popping off of the mind, thinking that one is just slightly lower than others who are actually greatly superior. So the console like Shibu Mawina, Mawin Masambache, she does Kabazera, Kabachimbo, the Sola, that's also the Shibu Magila. Shibu Magila, and then Mawin, then I shall watch the Magma. Taste my Magma.
I think was, yeah. But it's good, yeah. We think, right, this is always there. Yeah, I'm a little better, a little lower than, but some other things, we have a lot of excuses. That the zoo, Kanjin, same the zoo, Yapo Marilla.
So, yeah, it's true, right? So we can have that mind, even though we are much less knowledgeable than a person, but then we think, oh, I'm not that much less, maybe only a little bit less knowledge than other person.
다 로빙 하잖아. 고사 쇼발라 예테 토바냐는데 빼나 제 쇼발라 예테 토바 룸바타고. 뭐다 데레스타 난 소소치 라와이나 다 라면도도 지 쇼발라 쇼면도도. 저 토견으로 최대이더라지. 아니 가지 공장들을 열어봤어.
And then the seventh one is the wrongful pride. It's a puffing off of the mind, thinking that one has attained excellent qualities when one has actually gone astray.
어제 강도를 강동tum에 연합될 놈을 시바는 시송받아. 단 데빌 젠섬 여와토니 냥거라 쳐봐 첨바단 점을 시바라. 진도 시바. 다지 소소인 데빌 젠섬은 파. 다 소소직 제거해도 파 대단 가네. 시바에 제와디 다 데리
So it says, for example, an example would be conceit about having attained excellent qualities when one has actually been possessed by a spirit. This is also the scripture on disciplined states to be made conceited by what is actually a branch of shame, just as it has been said. This pride is, for example, an ordained person having neglected the stipulated boundaries of the Vinaya code, as if he is a layperson, considerately thinking that he is benefiting others out of his attachment to gain and honor.
단독의 만들어 소마다 인지 다른人之外다른 같은 것도 너무 했을 때 그 집어주셔서 지워도 경험을 너무 들으려고 하는 거죠. 다 대리 맞아도 되래서.
So those are the 7 different types of pride. And then again says these definitions are arranged according to what is taught in the treasury of knowledge. However, the precious God explains them as follows. And so this is again similar to that, so we don't have to go through that all.
다티 잘하면 딱 나자기 실을 가려서 나왔지. 어디 좀 왔어. 아니 예전 남 이거로 예전 남라 아니 몇기 봐. 그 기만 해. 우리가 또비 속사도 토바 개체봐. 수수 파종 매에 대한 거는 다 수수 기바체 도 말. 수수 제라야 다 예대사 제일 말해서.
And then in the next page 59 at the top, where it says pride, in the second paragraph, it says that pride has the function of obscuring any new attainment of the Dharma, of scriptures and realizations due to its disrespect for those who possess excellent qualities.
And
so that's one of the function of the pride, and the other one is that causes rebirth in bad migration in future lives.
And
even if one is reborn as human, acts as the cause for rebirth in the low caste, as a servant and the like. And so hence it produces undesirables in both these and future lives. And so then the precious God says here, through being inflated comes a bad lineage, and through jealousy, little magnificence, through anger comes a discolored face, and through not questioning the wise, stupidity. These are the results of humans, but period to all of them there is a bad migration. And also in the stage of the path to enlightenment, it says, since pride is the greatest hindrance in developing the path in this life, and is the cause for becoming a servant and the like in future lives, abandon it. So if we have pride, then we will not want to respect others, right? So if we have a pride towards somebody, then we will not want to respect that person or study from that person, right? And so that obstructs one from achieving any kind of qualities, knowledges. And because and that also causes one to be born in the lower realms, therefore we should abandon this pride.
Okay.
Yep. And so now the fourth one is the ignorance. So then in the companion of knowledge says, what is ignorance? It is the unknowing of the three realms. It has the function of acting as support for the arising of wrong ascertainment, doubt, and afflictions with respect to phenomena. Just as it has been said above, it is the mental factor of unknowing that is obscured regarding the mode of abiding of all phenomena. It has of two types: obscuration, that is the mental factor of unknowing, and awareness that apprehends erroneously.
셀라 로이 인연지 저 풍봉에 라야 됐다 셔봐 도면 끊지지 됐다 셔봐 돈 나세 로이 치료진의 시절로 된 준비 모바 제도 됐다 말이 봐 어디다 로이 치료 받는 치료 때도 말아 가지고
And then from among these two, the explicit indication in the companion of knowledge explains ignorance to be the mental factor of unknowing. Since Acharya Vasubandhu also explained it in this way in his discussion of the five elders, the assertions of both Asanga and his brother agree. However, Acharya Dhammakirti asserts ignorance to be an awareness that apprehends earnestly.
어떤 간제다 안에 말이 봐서 때 간제 취담 주제 내로 미시비 시바 모든 게 아니 달라 그래서 미싱이잖아.
So it says in this way, although there are two types of assertions with regards to awareness, the assertion that it is wrong conception and the assertion that it is an awareness that does not realize, both are alike in asserting that the principal antidote to ignorance is the wisdom realizing selflessness. So anyway, the main thing is that ignorance, which by itself, says, that it is not knowing, right? Not knowing the reality.
답받이 지라고 했다. 답받이 나와 들려고 제가나 아니 모바일만 맞아. 아니 시절도 듣는데 맞아 있다. 들으려고 그랬어.
So Vasubandhu and Asanga, who said is not knowing, right? Factor of unknowing. Mental factor of unknowing, so which is not knowing, and so Dhammakirti makes it adds on that not only not knowing, but grasping erroneously, means mistakenly, grasping it in a wrong way, thinking of something as when it is not that.
딜라도 말이 빼님보 또 다음에 또 비시라는 제도 생도 아니 내가 리바이신 가다 먼저 주지는 일로 딱 말 받아요.
And so are like in asserting that the principal antidote to ignorance is the wisdom realizing selflessness, and then she did it.
말이 빼님부터 다음에 또 비시라는 제반라고 해서 어디 된다.
들죠? 시험받을 다 쳐봤어.
대리스로 된다 그러고 아니
미시받아. 아니 로버트면 네가 지도되네. 나한테 그 남의 도시를 보고 그랬어.
근데 빠지 지역으로 되더라고.
그래.
된다데 리파이 시간 가다 먼토쇼 집에 먼토쇼 올라오더라. 아니 말이 발라 그래서 다 빠지 지역이나 된 집에서 와. 리파이 시다다 다음에 또 올라오듯이 대인 가다 먼토쇼 집에 올라오더라. 아니 말이 봐. 좋아. 빠지 대별력. 아니 왜 단다 봐봐 지신바들이라 다 미시바 하나를 그 시종 좀 거치 미시바 말이 봐 뭐가 다 될 약을 해서 이 저하는
so that's the only difference in the system of the Asanga and Vasubandhu, who says that the ignorance is not knowing, just not knowing, and then Dhammakirti says on top of not knowing, it apprehends erroneously. So anything that is contradicting, anything that contradicts with the wisdom realizing selflessness, and so the wisdom realizing selflessness, thinks does not grasp at the self as exists from its own side, right? And so anything that is contradictory to that, will be ignorance. It means that so grasping at the self as exists from its own side would be what the ignorance is defined as by Dhammakirti.
Well, yeah.
In that very last
one.
In that very last part of the statement, the wisdom realizing selflessness as the antidote, can it also be wisdom realizing emptiness?
남의 도를 싫어하더라 너서 남의 도를 싫어하기 차올라더니 똥이 도를 싫어하나 비례했어.
단 빠디 지라고 그러지 잡아야나 저기 그래서 똥이 도 싫어하나. 담에 세대다 주의 담에 잘 그랬어. 가서 담에 주의 담에 대매 또 그래. 돈이 돌아다니는 그랬어. 근데 지금 그러잖아. 근데 다시 야 저다 오마지는 때 이런 말을 돈이 돌아서.
And so according to the Dharmakirti's tradition or tenets, it's okay to say wisdom realizing emptiness. That is understood, accepted. But according to the lower schools, it is not accepted. So if you say emptiness, then they will not accept that. So if you say selflessness, then they will all accept that. So in the lower schools, they talk about the selflessness of person and selflessness of phenomena. They don't talk about emptiness.
Oh, okay.
They were different. They are different law, different ideas. Okay. Anyway, you guys, how many people know Tibetan letter Ka? Ka, come with the first alphabet.
Ka?
Ka. Ka.
Ka?
That you guys doesn't know it, what how can share. Tell us the Mombas Mishima is.
So that's ignorance.
Yeah, I'm serious here. I'm all of that. Because this is Mumba mystery. Mishima.
Trick on us.
Huh?
Tricked us.
That's the ignorance.
He's showing his pride here of the alphabet.
Now we say,
So you can talk Sam about French.
yeah, even now.
Thubten, no?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It's also ignorance.
So that's ignorance. You just don't know. But there's no grasping. There's no knowing, but there's no grasping. So.
I'm the best one in the law. Tell that children in the last.
So by thinking that I'm the best, so you're grasping at the self as being the best, right? So that one would be like, apprehending erroneously.
Everybody else, I'm a very good person, That they know she. That can see yet the schedule of the logic, schedule of my band, the logic, not the schedule of slow. Then digger, and it dance, the button, the low day, and it that my part is.
And so wisdom realizing selflessness or emptiness sees the phenomena or thing as not exist from its own side, right? And so seeing the thing as exists from its own side is ignorance.
Okay.
So that's contradictory, contradictory to what the wisdom realizing selflessness will see. The selflessness will see not exist from its own side. So seeing exist from its own side will be ignorance.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know if we done something in the past life or this present life, that something unintentionally, because of not knowing, harm the sentient beings, are those also accumulated bad karma or bad energy? Because I know.
Le sheba le maso. Le sheba le maso. le shesani ga tsama.
tsama ta kezi dara ta. Ina da le da chaga.
Le sheba le sa ga maris.
Yes.
Le sheswa na ta le tuja sa ga maris. Che te sia da da le sheba na ta le sa. Le mugyo masa maris.
미교도 최고라.
무기와 저 그런 거는 무기와 된다. 무기와 싸워 맞을까요?
제사.
세상이가 싸워도 세상이가 마찬가지고.
이까지죠.
다 세상이가 싸워야 돼. 다내 셰라 마찬가지로. 그래도 얘네 내 셰바이 마시. 말에 내 셰라. 내 싸라. 내 싸라 마시 바데.
니는 내들라.
밀는 게 레데 레 셰바.
제바를 마사바지.
마사바지.
또 들었던 시가 맞지. 나가 저기 마 미시가 온게 다시 세 민족으로 남걸었다 도도지 부세야죠라.
근데 셰바야.
일단 진짜 내 사교라.
레 싸바지. 레 마시 바.
맞죠 말이야. 일단 내 제사 마사서 그때 시작해서.
제가 되지 있어. 다 되지. 다 가지 얘기 다 가지 먹기 와 사사하게 그래서 나또 취주 열스러.
So of course, even if you did, without knowing it, you still did it. So there is a negative karma, but is not as strong as doing it intentionally. So there is a difference, but of course, but it still becomes non-virtuous action. It still becomes negative karma.
It's still like that.
It's still negative karma. Even if you didn't know, you're walking down the street, and if you kill the insect, it's negative karma.
It's negative.
It's negative karma, yes. But it's not as strong as going there and just like, seeing it and then crashing it with your leg, that's different.
But there's no way we can avoid, as a human being,
Yeah.
to work. There's no way we can
Then
avoid.
So of course, it is possible to do it, but for ordinary beings like ourselves, it's very difficult. We have to walk, we have to eat. Even like when we're eating, we kill so many bugs, so many insects, germs, and so forth. And so we're creating negative karma all the time. And so, like walking, if we're walking, just like without thinking, we're just walking, and then we're killing so many bugs. But if you really want to be careful, we can like walk very carefully. Look at the road instead of looking around here and there. Look at the road and then make sure that you don't, kill and you don't, like squash any insects under your feet and so forth. You can do that, but it's very difficult, right? And so, for ordinary beings like ourselves, it's very difficult, and so therefore it is very difficult for us to not create negative karma. So, but if you, at least if you don't do it intentionally, seeing that, oh, this is bad, I have to kill it, thinking like that and killing it, and not knowingly killing it, that's a big difference. And so, because it is small negative karma, therefore it will be easier to purify it also, and you don't create that much strong negative karma, and also also becomes easier to purify them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
and so then you try not to do those things. Try not to do, if possible, right? If possible, try not to do those things that can make you to create negative karma, like walking, driving, all these things. That's why if it's possible, then just go up in the mountain, sit in the cave, and meditate all the time. Then that way you don't create negative karma.
If you don't want to eat.
So then there's talking about the ignorance, different type of ignorance. There are two. There's ignorance that is obscuration with respect to actions and their results. Ignorance that is obscuration with respect to the meaning of suchness. And says ignorance that is obscuration with respect to the action and the result causes one to accumulate actions for rebirth in lower realms. And then ignorance that is obscuration with respect to the meaning of suchness causes one to accumulate actions of circling in the good migrations in the upper realms, right? And so ignorance that is obscuration with respect to action and their results. It's like, for example, you don't know that killing a bug is negative karma. And when you see a bug in your house, you intentionally go out to it, and then kill it. And then after you kill it, you feel like you feel very satisfied, thinking, oh yes, I've killed it. Now it will not cause any harm to me. It will not bring any disease to me and my family and so forth, things like that. So you feel satisfied. So with that, then you have created a complete negative karma, and then that will become a result. So that will become a cause for one to be born in the lower realms.
Also, you have to keep that mouse
trap. Mouse trap.
Mouse trap.
Trap.
Trap. Yeah. This kind of thing. Also, something changeable.
So if we keep that, so there's a difference between catching and killing, right?
You don't
So
kill
if we
yourself.
If you just catch it, maybe that's not too bad. If you have a trap to catch it, but if there's a trap to kill it, then it's maybe worse.
Terrible, they put something, they put they walk,
The glue to it. Yeah.
Glued to it, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
terrible,
That's
terrible.
What about in the spring when the bugs are eating the tree? Do you try to protect the tree or protect the bug?
Other way it is.
It's very difficult. Just maybe, just forgot, just leave that.
Leave them alone.
Sheeting, but she's having a sheet top of the
But people spray the tree and the bugs.
that she's such the other.
What in Buddhism,
Yeah.
we don't think that tree is a sentient being, right? You know that, right? We don't think that tree is a sentient being. So if the bug is the tree, it's okay.
it's good for the bug.
It's good for the bug. That's their food, you know. But if you kill the bug, and of course, then it's negative karma.
You don't think a tree is alive?
Love yours, you know, not to some Jesus, that's
Not a sentient being.
love yours.
They have a life, you know, and like plants have kind of life, but they are not sentient beings.
지금 생체사 강사세 친구들이 랍되고 말했어.
So it's not like animals or human beings, you know, that kind of life.
아니,
It's not a being. It has a life, but it's not a being. That's what Buddhism says.
그런 거 따라 쓸데는 좀 개념으로 봤어.
So it has some kind of life force, you know, which makes it to grow and so forth. And so that kind of how do you call that, energy or something that's there, but we don't accept that that's a sentient being.
아니, 다 시빠지라 얘기들다 생체스.
And so that those who have a mind, you know, it might have a life, but it doesn't have a mind. And so, you know, those who have a mind is called sentient being.
그러니까 you don't accept the truth of the life, mind. 다 세미용을 갖다 놓으면 다 초와 대두 용거이나 안에다 세미였어.
대단한 무슨 신도가 욕을 써요.
나 대가도 용어 캐는 거. 나도 대용어 캐는 거.
So how do you know whether they have mind or not? You know, is that whether they feel the pain and pleasure or not? So then you might say that trees will feel the pleasure, pain and pleasure, right? So you know, if you give plant enough water or sunshine, and they'll be happy. If you don't give them those, they'll be unhappy.
Yeah,
You can see that, right?
But we eat grass, the greens.
Yes,
and become
vegetables.
Become a life inside of ourselves, part of us. And
The vegetables?
yeah, like the
No, they get digested.
they become an energy and serving become they are satisfied. They are sacrificed themselves. So we have gained energy from the vegetables. So I consider them also life.
하고서
너무 싸졌어.
짜다 심도 세대서
싸나?
세대서 건조기 때는 건조 코란도 소로 다는 가져라 되는 노 슈드네 되게 어렸어. 아나 티제자 뭐라게 되는데 세대서 때는 가서 소요 해는 거였어.
대단 너도 캐는 말했어. 대단 너도 고소돼 됐다. 다들 먹으려고 대단 너도 남의 뒤에 캐는 말했어.
So yeah, I mean, you can argue about that, you know, in that way, but you know, there are other things also that gives the kind of energy to our body. You know, then we'll have to say those are also, those are also sentient beings, so those have life and so forth. So anyway, so the vegetables, the plants, we don't agree that they have a life. I mean, they are sentient beings. You can say life depends again how you define it, right? So if you define it one way, then it will say no life, but another way you can say it has life and so forth. But anyway, so those are not regarded as sentient beings, and so if the bugs eat them, that's okay. So don't kill the bugs in order to protect those things that are not sentient beings.
Okay, just you can think about it, okay? 다 대코너니는 뭐 말해 봤으나 다 너도 지금 또 많이 이제 봐도 두절하고 그래서 내가 때는 딱 고발해 주고 그래서 다 대로 다도 나가도 못 대로 제대로 와서 그래서 대거든이 대에서도 맞도 다들 빵 맞도 와 있나 아니 좀 고발해 게요 그래서
And so the ignorance, that is the obscuration with respect to the meaning of suchness. So that meaning of suchness is again about talking about the emptiness, selflessness and so forth, right? So if you don't realize that, then you will still, you will come back in cycles. You'll circle in cycles endlessly, as long as you haven't realized that. And so if you are ignorant to that, then you have that. And as long as you have that, you will be creating karma to come back, to be in cycles again and again. And so that's talking about the second type of ignorance. And then it says it is function is specified as acting as a support for the rising of wrong ascertainment, doubt, and afflictions with respect to phenomena, because other afflictions arise in dependence on ignorance, in dependence on them. For example, afflictions, actions arise in dependence on the actions, all sufferings of psychiatry arise. Therefore, all afflictions and faults arise in dependence on ignorance. It is just as it is said, been said in the commentary to Digna's Compendium of Mind Cognition. So it says one who sees the self will constantly adhere to it as I. So due to this adherence, one will crave for happiness, and due to that craving, faults will be hidden from views.
And jitin kupa chinya ba de ta mari ba kanachin to te do ba te ji do ji ba so ta de te do pe na ma chores.
It says all faults have as their root the view of the transitory recollection, that is ignorance. From it attachment arises, from it hatred and so forth arises. The Buddha himself taught that the cause of these faults is ignorance. All faults have it as their root the view of transitory recollection. And then from the former Tsongkhapa also says in his Lambrin, the essence of an abstract explanation, says the root of all the misery in the world is ignorance, that is overcome by seeing the dependent rising that you have taught.
What is that? She's on Badan. Donna Maribandan comes on Kovi, Zawatan, Ledan Yumot, Jane, Tende Yanachina, the Tomo Maribasum by Yenos.
And it says in brief, this ignorance is the root of cyclic, circling in the three realms of cyclic existence, since it is the basis for all actions and afflictions. Ignorance is taught at the beginning of the 12th link of dependent arising.
What is Maribata, Mishibatris, Mishibatella, Tende, and Yumo Salves, Tataris.
So ignorance is not knowing. So because of not knowing, then you have all these afflictions like attachment, anger, ignorance, the pride, jealousy, and so forth, right? And then because of these afflictions, then you create non-virtuous actions, and then the result of non-virtuous actions, we experience the suffering. And so therefore, the ignorance is the root of all the sufferings and all the cause of sufferings, and that's the function of the ignorance.
Okay? Then any questions? No question? Not a bit? Well, today that Maripase Takano.
So the ignorance is the root of all the delusions.
And then Lamam Chimra Maripase Demba Shada, Le Jindeda, and the Konjok Nilu Mishiba,
So in the Lamrim graduate path of enlightenment, also it says that the ignorance is not knowing. So especially not knowing the Four Noble Truths, the Bashi, the karmic law of cause and karmic law of cause and effect, not knowing those, not knowing the qualities, excellent qualities of the three jewels, and so not knowing those things are considered as ignorance.
Okay?
So especially not knowing the karmic law of cause and effect. So not knowing or not accepting that by creating negative karma one will experience karma, or not knowing and not accepting that by creating positive karma one will experience happiness. So that kind of not knowing.
Okay? Yeah.
The mic, please, to Ian.
Ian?
So just to sum up, the main thing about pride is to make sure that it doesn't cause us to put others down. So, for example, if I do something that I feel good about myself, or I'm just happy that I accomplished something, that's okay, just as long as it doesn't cause me to put other people down, or disrespect them. Is that right?
소속이 제보도 소속이 다 가와 공부에는 야보 제보도 가와 제보는 근데 그런 아주 맞아 제가 말았어. 근데 저는 어쩌다 아주 여바이나 할때 제일 마음에 맞는 이거였어. 그래서
이제 내가 이슈에서 거는 마음부터 내가 막히와.
마음에
되게 좀 말하다가 오토로
yes, as long as it doesn't become a cause to belittle others, that's okay. That's better, and of course, if you're doing something good and you feel good about that, then that's not pride.
You can date him, you can do a very good job, good work, then go back to home. Just jump. I did very good job, just jump. And maybe someone did the bad. Second floor, first floor, there is a mind. Then you don't harm anything if you are maybe very strong.
Strong pride.
Strong pride. It's okay. You can jump, you can. Okay? Okay, thank you everybody. How's chanting master?
We're conferring.
It's good, yeah. You can walk together. Yeah. Yeah, she's very good. Yeah, she can start. You can start, she can help you.